Right, y'all. We'll get started in a couple minutes. Yes. All right, y'all. We'll start at 2:03, so 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right, you guys. Welcome. How is everyone? Feel free to use the chat box. You there, Roy? I think you're still muted, Roy. There we go. So, welcome to Why to Attend an HBCU, everyone. I don't know why my camera ain't working right now. I might come back in a second, but anyway, I hope everybody is having a great day. Happy to be a part of the Atlanta and Miami virtual experience. Like I said, this is Why to Attend the HBCU. A little bit about myself. My name is Amir Walton. I've been doing this panel for about the last 5, maybe 6 years. I'm not sure now. I'm losing track of time. 5, 6 years. And also a product of the Black College Expo. So I was going the whole time I was in high school, and it really opened up my eyes to the whole HBCU experience. I was actually a top 20 athlete in Northern California coming out of high school, and had Division I scholarships, but I couldn't take those up because my grades weren't good enough. So I was going to go to a junior college. And fortunately for me, my mom said she didn't want that to be my only option. So she sent me on a historically Black college tour. So I got to see most of the schools in the mid-Atlantic area. So Howard, Hampton, Bowie State University, Virginia State, Virginia Union, a few others. And I settled on Bowie State University. While I was there, I did everything from SGA to being a resident assistant, and I was also Mr. Bowie State University. So got a lot of experience on the campus. So any questions you may have about those areas, please feel free to let me know. I currently do marketing at McDonald's Corporation. If any of you are in the marketing field or thinking about getting into operations, McDonald's is a big operations company. Please let me know if you have questions on that. And I'm also an author, so I'll drop the link for that. Name of my book is called My Historically Black Purpose, and it talks about the whole HBCU experience. So it'll be an excellent book for all of you to pick up. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all that good stuff, Audible, and everything else. So I'll drop the link. And I got a great, brilliant brother by the name of Roy who's in here. He has a lot of great experience, and he's currently at HBCU. So I want him to introduce himself. And as we get into this, please put any questions you may have in the chat, and we'll make sure to answer those. And we'll get started. So we got until about 3:00. So please don't be shy. So go ahead, Roy.
Hi, how's everybody doing? So, like Mr. Walton said, my name's Roy. A little bit about my background. I grew up between the borderline cities of Compton and Linwood in the city of Los Angeles. Growing up, I was always that kid that was always messing around, never doing their homework, never going to class. Like I was messing up, got my stuff together in high school. I decided to go to a junior college where I got my associate's degree, and then I transferred to an HBCU that I'm at right now, which is Kentucky State University. Um, Upon graduation, I stumbled upon a lot of opportunities, being able to do work for some movies, TV shows, working with sports such as Lakers. I was
A little bit. Okay, I think Roy might have cut off some. So, until he goes back or comes back, hopefully it won't take too long. Please put any questions you have, shoot them off right now in the chat, and then we can at least get started with some of those. And until we do that, I'll just tell you a little bit about my experience. I came from the West Coast. Is that Roy? There you go, Roy. Go ahead.
So I ended up from Compton. This kid from Compton, California, ended up like to Kentucky State University. The reason I decided to go to HBCU was that in the process of, am I still good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So in the process of discovering like why I wanted to go to school and stuff in high school, trying to get my stuff together, the CEO of this company was actually one of my mentors, including Amir, that helped me like actually graduate, apply for schools and stuff. Okay, sorry. So yeah, so Amir was actually one of my mentors, and every year they would have the Black College Expo in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Convention Center, and I would always go. So every time I would see all these schools from like all these states across the country, I knew that when I went to college, I needed to go out of state. And just hearing stories like stories that Amir said about school and stuff, it just made me excited to go to HBCU. So that's where I'm at right now, finishing off my business degree.
Perfect. Thank you, Roy. So I'm gonna just jump right in and ask you then, how was it for you? Because I'm not sure about everybody who's in here now, but there are a lot of HBCUs, obviously outside of the states they're in, and for you, it was basically no HBCUs in California. So what was your transition like going from California to another state in terms of like you meeting people and getting comfortable in Kentucky?
I was culture shocked. So a lot of people come to my school. So I know I got people from Atlanta here, from Florida. So it's cool like that you're able, everybody's able to meet, like it's just people from different states. So it was a very culture shock. My school is like the same amount of people that attended my high school. It's like less than 2,000 people. We're located in a small town in the downtown area, like the capital area of the capital of Kentucky, and it was just a culture
Mm-hmm.
shock. I'm used to waking up and looking at palm trees, and then I have to look at like forest and hills and mountainsides and just different experiences overall. I was like culture shock with the weather. We just had like a winter storm not so long ago, and that was like the coldest I've ever experienced, and that was something I had to get used to, which was the weather.
I bet. How was food in Kentucky? You got how's it been going out there trying out new food and stuff like that, finding new restaurants and things
Oh,
like that.
be smacking. They gave me biscuits and gravy for my first time as a breakfast. And you could tell somebody's grandma made it because like it was like they put something in it because next time somebody else made it, it wasn't tasting right. But the food I tried like crawfish, alligator, like just like stuff that or crocodile. I don't know which one I ate. Lobster tail, like stuff that I wouldn't eat back home. Just like different hush puppies, like cornbread. Like they get me right out here. But it's just like the
Right.
food, the people are different. Like out here, I noticed that everybody is more friendly. Back home, it's like here you look at somebody, they'll say hi to you. Back home, someone looks at you and you're like ready to fight, you know? It's just like one of those things where like everything's different, but it's a positive change, you know?
Yeah.
How
No,
would you
absolutely. I
say for
felt the
you?
same. Yeah, I felt the same with mine, man. It was because Bowie State is in Maryland, so they try not to consider themselves the South, but there's a lot of Southern hospitality there. You know, some of the nicest people I met there. Like I came from California too, went all the way to the other side of the country, and the thing my parents or my mom was worried about most was me, like finding friends immediately. You know what I'm saying, and things like that. But as soon as I got there, man, I say by like within the first week, I had like tons of friends. It was people asking me if I wanted to stay, you know, for the summer with them and, you know, invite me over to their houses and stuff for Thanksgiving. So I feel like the biggest part, honestly, for everybody, I don't know how you feel about it, Roy, but the biggest part is getting on the plane, going, and just giving yourself a chance to get acclimated. I think you'll be fine, you know? So that's what I would say, man. Just everybody just think about that. Just go, figure it out when you get there. You know what I'm saying? Pick the best one for you as you coming up with a checklist, obviously. And you know, pick the best one, but give yourself a chance when you get there. Don't just hop out at the first sign of, you know, homesickness and things like that. Give yourself a chance.
I see. I see a question. It says, "How did you pick your HBCU?" So at least for me, it was a whole different story. I actually like I was going. So I was going to school full time in college, like a community college, and I always like maintained two or three jobs. So like at one point, I was making more money than my parents. I was like contributing to the household, and like things just didn't end up good. So I left my house and I was like sustaining for myself for like a long time. And I said, I'm like, well, I should always wanted to go out of state. So my brother actually got recruited to play for K State. And he was talking
Mm.
about like how lit all the parties were and like how everybody turns up and how it's just good overall. So I really picked if I'm being honest with you, I picked my HBCU because of how fun I heard it was. I didn't even look into the academics, but it turns out we have a really good business program here, and it was something that I recommend you doing is looking what your major is. Is the school good at that major? Tuition costs, like, is it in your budget? That's what I would look for, like when you pick your HBCU.
Yeah,
Some of the
absolutely.
stuff.
And then, yeah, and another thing you always hear too is like, you don't pick your HBCU, like your HBCU picks you. And I think the way for that to happen is by you doing your due diligence. Like I always tell students to like, you know, make a checklist of things they want, you know, from their school, pros and cons, right? And then based upon that, once you go to all of these booths, like you at the conference now, when you ask all of these questions, you know, to these recruiters, see which ones check off and you know see which one speaks to you as you in that process. You know, don't try and force it because your peoples are going there, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your homeboys, whatever it may be. But actually, you know, make sure it's a good school and a good fit for you. And I think the school will talk back to you. You know, it's kind of like it's an unconscious thing, but it'll happen. You know, and it happens for all of us in some way. Like for mine, when I went there, when I went to Bowie State, like I didn't know about Bowie State. Like before I actually toured it, I had no idea it existed. Oh, can you hear me now, Kira, or no? Can you hear me, Roy? You can. I can. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Kira. Let me know if it comes through. But yeah. So I think when I went to the campus, it was just amazing to see all
Amir, you're muted. Uh, okay, so yeah, is going like attending a HBCU is very different. I highly recommend it. Decided HBCU because Amir was well, he's gonna continue telling you guys the story about how he went to Bowie State and how like going there and he's yep connecting
You
right
hear me?
guy. Yes.
I'm
Okay.
good. Okay. All right. My bad, Joe. I had to put my phone on do not disturb. I was getting too many calls. I'm on my iPad. But anyway, yeah. So going there, seeing the black teachers, the black students, and really just absorbing all that and seeing like all this black excellence, man. I don't know what it was like specifically at that moment because I had saw that at all the universities I went to, but for some reason it was the way the students were speaking to me, the faculty and staff were speaking to me. Like I don't know, it just was perfect. So that's why I said, like I said, do your due diligence, speak to every school, and I think the school will speak back unconsciously, and you'll find the perfect fit for yourself. You had anything else, Roy?
Pretty much covered it all.
Okay. So the next one, I don't know, you might want to take this one first, Roy. Then I could go. But can you tell us some of the things you believed about or heard that were negative about HBCUs that you discovered were not true?
Two things that I know were like a high discussion was lack of diversity and like the price, like being able to afford it. I think the most I've been to has been the HBCU. At K State, it's everybody from everywhere, and it's just crazy. Like you just like the other day we had this girl make like just like the like food wise, just like and she was making food on an air fryer, and I was like, oh, I never had that before, because she's from like some part of Africa, like Nigeria or something, right? And I was eating like Nigerian food. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
first time I had Nigerian food, or like there's like Filipinos that come here, like it's like a lot of people from across the country, but also like across the world that attend HBCUs. And I thought that was like
Mm.
cool, like when I got here. And the second thing was that the price. I remember people saying if you go to a HBCU, you're gonna collect a lot of debt, and that wasn't the case because I feel like out of the community college I went to and the school I'm attending right now, like the financial aid office has showed me love. For those of you guys that haven't been to a financial aid office, just imagine like you're going to the DMV or something. It's very it could get hectic. It could be like sometimes like depending on what you need to get done, like a lengthy process. But it's just like everybody out here took care of me, and like you feel the love, like if you know what I'm saying. I don't know if Amir could elaborate on that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. Like when I went there, like the main thing I heard coming out of high school was like they would call them all black colleges. So I was like, okay, when I get here, it's gonna be nothing but black people. But when I got there, of course, there were other ethnicities of people. Like I went to school with people that were from Europe or from Australia, South America, like almost Canada. So it was people from everywhere all over at my school. And then kind of like Roy had talked about just the diversity amongst black people, because you can start thinking that based upon your environment, that's the majority of black folks or the people you see on TV. Like it becomes your community, and then people you see on TV, those are like the only type of black people there are. And it just wasn't the case. It was people from all different types of demographics, financially, even with religious, like Muslims or black Jews, or just always up and down the spectrum. Vegans, like I didn't really even meet like real vegans and stuff like that, like a whole bunch of black vegans until I went to college. So it's so interesting to see how much diversity we have within ourselves, and then amongst other people too. One of my residents, uh my first year being a resident assistant, his name, we called him White Mike, and he was the kicker on the football team. But he was like the only white guy like on the floor, and just seeing his experience and stuff like that, and you know, seeing how much he became a part of the family, you know, it's really that for everybody, you know, and you can learn a lot about different people from all over and different cultures, you know, being on that HBCU campus. It's just the difference is it's like the one chance, like I really feel like you get in academia where you can be the majority and it can be everybody is shooting, you know, to do better, you know. Everybody has high standards and high goals, so it's not you trying to motivate everybody because a lot of us go through that where we're the main ones on campus or we're the main ones in our class doing stuff. When you get here, it's like everybody is trying to lift each other up and you being held accountable, you know, for being the best version of yourself. So that's what I loved about the diversity. That's what I loved, and just about the experience. Roy, what has been, because I know you're there now, but and you're living on a COVID in a COVID time on campus, but what has been your funnest experience or the most fun you've had so far since you've been at Kentucky State?
When like fun, like if I'm being honest, like so I party like, and it's like a party point where like you don't have any space to move, or like like for example, like COVID have really. I know people talking about like I'm gonna take a gap year. I'm like I'll experience to be messed up. I think we made out the first like last semester. Just wasn't good, but now like that like time, I feel like there's a need to start going out and interacting with people. Started doing that, like it's helped because like there's no roommates and stuff. The campus, so they rented hotels, and there's like if I walk out, floors from might be a part last week. I'm a senior resident at that at the hotel I stay at, so enforcing the rules and everything. And I get a phone call like, oh, there's a party on the was to go file a complaint, or if I got an invitation, been like the morning, and it's just like you make those little experiences where you were nothing, you know.
I think your audio might have went out at the end, Royce. Last part again.
It's making something out of nothing. I think that's what like I discovered about my HBCU, that it don't matter what it is, we're gonna find a way to have fun at it.
Got it.
And through COVID, we've been able to do that. We had a comedy show. Everybody pulled up to the comedy show. Had Wildin' Out comedians come out, and then we ended up like doing a Wildin' Out show because the audience was funnier than the comedians.
Right.
And it was like you just discover so many people with like so many talents and abilities. It's just crazy.
Right. Absolutely. And don't forget to put your questions in the chat box, you guys. We want to hear from you. I think one of the funnest, I don't know if it was even the most fun, but it was just like a wow moment for me, was when it was my senior year. And from the beginning to the end of the year, we had, it's not all in order, but Barack Obama had came to campus. Minister Farrakhan that came to campus, Angela Davis, Nikki Giovanni, Kevin Hart, Rick Ross, Waka Flocka. Like we had all of these people, and there's probably some I'm missing too. But not even just there, you know, to perform or get their speeches, but was literally, you know, walking the campus with us, talking to us, shaking hands. And I was just like, wow, this is an amazing experience. I don't know where else on the planet I would be able to get this within like an 8-month period where I get all of these people on campus that I have access to. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was just one of the coolest things that ever happened. And I was like, man, I wish more people just got to experience this. You know what I'm saying? Black people, brown people, white, like all people of color, but just seeing that range of the spectrum for Black people, you know, as a whole, I think would just open people's eyes up to more of the experience as opposed to just what you see on TV. So that was one of the coolest things that happened on campus, and it's something I'll never forget. What kind of community service projects have you experienced there? Have you did any community service yet, Roy?
Not yet. We yes and no. It's been shutting off and on again because the school district will open up and close. But at least for my school, since I'm a Spanish speaker, we like the few like his people that are like native Spanish speaking, we started
Yeah.
up this program with the middle schools around where we'll go like sit with sixth period with them because like they'll have they to be able so they could be able to communicate with somebody of the same language, but they're usually like what's the word refugee or seeking asylum. So like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
fled the
yeah,
country because
yeah.
so we have a large group of students. Some people aren't like Spanish speaker. They just might be that their primary language is in English, and we just go help them out and just like talk to them and give them some advice and stuff. So that's what I've done here so far, but nothing too much just because of COVID. What were any projects you worked on?
Nice. Okay. Hey, but you doing? Yeah, you doing what you can though. That's good stuff. But
Right,
and that's big. I feel like, man, especially well, even at Linwood, I know in high school, at
right.
that high school, it helped having bilingual students that could help, the kids make that transition, through high school and elementary just to make the whole learning experience easier. So that's great work. Good job, Roy. Um, two that I can think of offhand. Um, one, my freshman year, was it my freshman year? It was sometime early. We were working on the Barack Obama campaign. So, well, part of the thing we were doing was getting people registered to vote. A big part was youth voters. So, just out of high school and then college students, because we thought he was polling very well with them, but obviously it wasn't enough of us registered to vote. So that was one of the biggest ones I worked on was actually helping get people registered to vote and getting him elected. So that was really cool, just going to different campuses and talking to people. And it was actually an opportunity that came straight to the campus, so which I thought was amazing. So you get a lot of access to stuff like that. Another one I did was kind of similar to Roy, not with the bilingual portion of it, but working with elementary kids who would be like first generation college students. And I forgot the name of the program, but they actually let us go in there and mentor elementary school kids. We got to mentor them and really just help get them on a path all the way up to where they could go to college and literally know someone who's been there and have one-on-one connections with them. So those were the two I worked on, but there's plenty of people who do all kinds of stuff, going to work in like veteran homes, so like with ex-military people, like battered women, beautification projects, so like cleaning
Wow.
beaches and parks and neighborhoods and stuff like that. So whatever you're interested in, they'll have opportunities there for you. And the cool thing is, if they don't, you can always create groups or come up with different ways and outlets or platforms for people to be able to go and utilize campus funds for you guys to be able to create those kind of community service projects. So that's just another thing to keep in mind.
Right.
Katie, what networking opportunities does or did your HBCU provide for you? And also, what extracurricular things did you participate in?
I got a story for that one actually. Like I actually a real juicy story for the networking one. If I could share it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was working. I ended up being a manager at a concert venue in Los Angeles, right? Um, so I was so I was working at a concert venue in Inglewood. It's called the Forum, and I was a manager there. So what I would do was work backstage. I would work the dressing rooms, production lot, like that was my area, and the Forum Club. And this was when Drake was having his Drake and Migos tour. So it was like in 2018, I think, like the fall of 2018. And it was just a hectic like series of concerts. I think they had like six concerts or like a drastic number like that, each sold out a problem each day. If we weren't fighting with somebody with amigos or like somebody else, it was just something going on. So I ended up quitting that job because like of something that happened, and I was just like, you know what, like I deserve better. Like this isn't for me, and I quit my job. And I get a phone call too as I'm walking to one of my classes. I'm getting a phone call, and it's like, "Hi, is this Roy Carbajal?" And I'm just like, "Yes." So I'm like, "Who's this?" They're like, "We're calling from UCLA Health and Training Center, and we would like to provide you with a job." And I was like, "Yeah, but I didn't apply for any UCLA Health and Training Center." Keep in mind, like where I stay at is like it's like an hour away from UCLA or UCLA hospital. So I'm like, why would I go drive an hour to go work somewhere making minimum wage? I'm thinking in my head, like, what's going on? Until the lady gets frustrated with me and says, "Sir, we're calling you from the Los Angeles Lakers. Would you like the job interview? Yes or no?" And I was all like, "Los Angeles Lakers." They said my name. So I just said yes. And I just hung up the phone, walk into class, and my professor's just looking at me. He's just like, "Hey." And I'm like, "What's up?" And he was like, "Did you get the call?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got the call." He was like, "I remember you telling me you quit your job." He was all like, "So I'll hook you up with a better one where they're going to value you." So I ended up being a security guard with the Lakers and ended up working production, logistics and operations. And it's just like I the company. I was working with Nike, USA Basketball, the Lakers. Like when I tell you, like I would like see these players like face to face and talk to them like every day I would work. It's just incredible being able to do things like that. And through that job, I was able to meet somebody that got me a casting agency job for Hoop Shots TV, and then we were able to work on Space Jam 2, La Llorona, a couple of TV shows, and it was just a trickling effect. So once you learn how to do that, it's able to transfer over. So like at my HBCU, I'm like, okay, who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of that? Like, who would I need in case of this? You know, and you start networking and finding opportunities. And that's how I became a RA. So that pays for all my housing and my meal plan and whatnot. And I get a stipend at the end of the semester. So it's really just like playing a game of double dutch and just like not being scared of jumping in and just going for it. And only good things come from it, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the networking opportunities, and I always tell people this, like, I think every school you can get networking opportunities, but similar to the story that Roy just gave you, I feel like though you get better access to those opportunities and more people want to bring opportunities to you because you have a lot more one-on-one relationships because of the sizes of a lot of the institutions. They're not huge schools, so you don't have to worry about 200 people being in class with you. So your teacher knows you, knows your first name, knows what you're good at, knows what you could use improvement with. So you get all sorts of opportunities like that. For me, they had this thing called the what was it? The Black Executive Exchange Program. It's called BEEP, and I'm not sure if they have it now, but I'm sure they have something similar where they would take three or four people from the business program. So whether you were marketing, accounting, management, whatever, and they would send you to Florida for this conference, and you would literally get to spend about 4 or 5 days with all of these top people from Fortune 500 companies. You would be able to build relationships, make connections, find out about internships, find out about jobs for after school or for after you graduate. I mean, and one of my best mentors is Paul Martin. He's actually the VP of HR at Sony Pictures. So the ones who release Spider-Man and all of that kind of good stuff, like he's the head of HR up there, the VP of HR. And that's my guy. Like we've been talking basically since I was a junior in college, and he's helped me with all sorts of things. So also I'm somebody who's pursuing film, you know what I'm saying? So screenwriting and things like that. So having an immediate in with somebody who's literally at a production company to me is, priceless, even just for pointing you in the right directions for things. So those type of opportunities are all over. The biggest thing I'll say for you is one, take advantage of them, and two, go search them out because people will bring them to you, but it's no better way to find resources for yourself than to look for them because nobody knows yourself and your needs better than you. It'll be teachers who I said know you and classmates that know you, but the best person who knows yourself is you. So make sure you go out there and look for people and look for those opportunities because you could take advantage of them. Because the biggest thing is a lot of people don't take advantage of them. Like the program I had, they sent us away for 5 days in Orlando during the summer everything paid for, plus a stipend. We got like $500 just to go, and it was nobody signing up for it. Like it was three of us who went, and it was only three people who applied for it. You know, so think about those things. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff like that. Like even worse is when you have stuff like that and nobody signs up for it. So just make sure you take advantage of all of those opportunities. What kind of resource centers does your school have? You want to take that one, Roy?
Yeah. So I know they got the Student Success Center. They got so you're actually paying so you're paying for the education, but you're also paying for the resources that comes with it. So I know, for example, they get like free tutoring, writing center, math center, science center. Like you go get help for any subject you pretty much need. They have a wellness center. So the wellness center consists of, like, at least for right now, it's a free clinic. We get tested for COVID. If you get sick, you could just go down there. Free counseling, mental health counseling. There's a lot of Title IX. We got a Title IX office. There's a Title IX office every school you go to. There's also just a lot of resources. It's just really looking for your student hub and like looking for the Student Success Center and seeing what your school provides. I know, like my school, one of the programs they got is if you go twice a week for study hall for like an hour, they pay you to actually sit down and study. So like maybe like you just need a little extra help learning, and like you're working like let's say it's a student job, like in the sense you might work in the library, the cafeteria, the student store. They'll actually, instead of you working 2 hours at the place you were supposed to work at, you'll work doing your homework. So it's like a paid study hall in a sense. So that's actually really cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And a big one Roy just said too was just the counseling office. Like for me, like that was like one of my favorite places to go to because you'll have like your freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior counselor who just kind of help you with the academic side of it, and then you'll have like your personal counselor if you want one if you go to the counseling center. So I think taking advantage of both of those, knowing your academic counselor is big, and making sure you pick a good one. So you make sure you don't get behind on your credits and things like that, because there's no reason to take a extra semester or extra year or two just because you picked the wrong classes, and that can happen anywhere. But it's just good to be aware of it. And then like just a personal counselor is always cool to have somebody to talk to, and that's even for life outside of school. But definitely while you're in campus, because it's so much, you're gonna be juggling a lot with classes. You're probably gonna be away from home, new friends, missing family, all that kind of stuff, and then just being thrown so many more new, experiences. Being able to stay level-headed while you're doing all of that, I think is important. So absolutely use the counseling center. For me, like I hated math while I was in there. I love money, but I hate math. So like algebra and all of that other kind of stuff with my accounting classes, I always had to get extra help with those. So the cool thing is a lot of your departments will have specific tutors. So you'll have tutors you can go to specifically in your department. And then they might outsource some people as well. So you can have, tutors who are just from the campus and whatnot. So a lot of good resources like that. The Career Center, I think, is the perfect one. That's where I got the opportunity to go on and do the Black Executive Exchange Program. So just take advantage of all of those opportunities. Student life, always find out what's going on campus and trips coming up. So all sorts of things like that. And you'll find a lot of those, like, I don't know how they do it at yours, Roy, but I'm sure they got like freshman week or welcome week, where they kind of have people come out and talk to you about things like that. So the resources are plentiful. Like I said, with anything, it's just always you making sure you take advantage of them. And Mayanda, are you alumni or a current student? Oh, I guess not.
Wow. And
So,
please feel free if you guys have any questions. Like I know one of the questions was like, well, it wasn't a question, it was a statement. It was talking about homecoming, and it was saying that I went to Howard's homecoming, and it was like lit. And that's who I'm trying to figure out who said that. Somebody said that
oh,
earlier.
someone put that in this one.
Yeah, but like, do you have anything to say about campus life? like the environment, like the energy you just get walking onto campus.
Man, it's nothing like it. Like, it's
Right.
really nothing like it. Cause I mean, like, probably from when you walk out of your dorm, it's gonna be stuff going on all the way to like when you actually exit the campus. So you might come out and it might be people who are out there barbecuing on the plots, right? Then you
Yeah.
might have people out there just selling stuff, for each and every organization. You might have, like I said before, like different people, coming from different departments to tell you about things they got going on. People promoting programs. So it's just so much, like, you know what I'm saying, going from there, to you leaving the campus. And then, it might be a free concert going on. You might walk in and see somebody giving a speech, like a new author you never heard of. It might be a poetry slam going on, like just all types of crazy stuff
You
like that.
you
You know
know,
what I'm saying?
my friend, he's about to graduate. He was saying when he started coming to school here that he used to go to the because he took extra years than he was supposed to, but he was watching Bryson Tiller give free concerts at Two Keys and Tin Roof in Lexington.
Mm,
So it was like where he says he's all like from Lexington to Louisville mileage. And I was all like he was like
yeah,
listening to this music before it like got made in these like bars like in like down like 15 minutes down the way. And it's just
right.
crazy. Like you never know who you'll run into that or what that you know what I mean? It's just an experience overall. But we have Miss Benjamin back. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. And we came in on the last like 5 minutes.
Oh no, we got like
we got
18
time.
minutes left. Yeah. Go on ahead and introduce yourself and what school you go to or went to, all that.
So this isn't really for me. This is for my son. But I was trying to have him come. Trey, come here. I was trying to have him get some like different input because I didn't get a chance to go to an HBCU. I went to like a private art college. And so I'm like, dang, Trey, I would want that experience too. So, I just wanted him to, just come in and talk to somebody. That was
Yeah, no, that's all
Yeah, for
good. You
sure.
got you or him got a question in particular? Maybe something you want answered?
not really.
No. Are you nervous about sending him maybe out of state to school or anything like that?
No.
Are you ready to get him out the
She's
house then?
ready.
Oh, that's no, it's all good. So well, unmute yourself if you got another question. But yeah, just stay here with us. So we got another one. Roy, it said what kind of, I think she had asked this before too. I missed it. But what extracurriculars are you involved with, Roy?
Oh, I'm in like just because I'm a senior resident advisor, it makes me an ambassador for the school. So I'm just like and that's like I was doing concert choir for a bit, but they canceled it because of COVID, and they canceled it for the semester. So I was doing that. I was doing the ambassadorship, and it's just fun. So like for example, like I'm gonna go to the basketball game as soon as this expo's over, and it's just like I got like a student section seat, and you're just affiliated with other people from school. So it's like I'm not a part of it, but I'm directly like affiliated with this. So like all the like frats on campus or like sororities, they're like there's a representative from each of them that are like student ambassadors. So I know what's going on through them. Or like Miss Kentucky State's an ambassador as well, or like people from certain departments or certain what I mean majors. So you
Mm-hmm.
just it's like a way like my school's small, so everybody knows who everybody is primarily, but it's just like extracurricular wise, I would say that's pretty much it, honestly.
Got you.
I know you, Mr. Kentucky, I mean Mr. Bowie State, but yeah,
Yeah, well,
we got
yeah, no, I
royalty in the
mean,
building. Y'all didn't know about that one, huh?
yeah, nah. So for me, oh, and real quick, just to answer this, because this is a quick one. What is the best time to come to campus for visits? Uh, I think it depends where you at. Like for me, I went to school in Maryland, so it's cold. Like a lot of the fall and winter, and even like early, spring. So I would say come like as soon as we like going into school. So like August, September. or either wait until like April, March maybe at the earliest, so you can really get the experience of seeing everybody out. Or if you can go during the summertime too, so that's a good time to go. But extracurriculars for me, before I talk about the Mr. Bowie thing, was like I said, I was an RA. Roy's an RA, so he knows how that is. But I was also in student government, and then I also had the privilege of starting an organization too. So, really going through the process, we started an organization called Black Male Agenda, where we really focused on retention for Black male students on campus. Because when I had got there, that was one of the worst. I think we were outnumbered. I think it was 35 girls for every guy when I went to Bowie State at first. So when I got there, it was literally like 35 women for every guy. And a big reason to that was because there was so many guys dropping out early. So we created that program to really just help really with that first year and helping, Black men stay in school. Because most people is like, if you can get past the first year, like you good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you get that feeling, you get in your rhythm, and you kind of understand how it is. So that's why I always tell folks, like, if you go there and you get, a little discouraged, like finish out the year, finish out the year and really make sure you can understand the process before you just jump to leaving or dropping out. You know what I'm saying? So that was one. But the Mr. Bowie thing, I don't know how many of you know about it, but we got royals on campus. So if you've ever seen like the Miss America pageant or things like that, they do that for the women. And then they do one for the guys as well, where you call is Mr. Kentucky State or Miss Kentucky State and Mr. Bowie State, Miss Bowie, Miss Howard University, Mr. Howard University. So they got that up and down. So I actually campaigned for that and competed for it. It's a whole process in that pageantry where, like I said, I was an athlete. So, going to have to walk and do the fancy wave and do your talent and all that kind of stuff was new to me. But when I got a chance to really see that and see the history of it and, how the Miss America pageant ain't used to let Black women in. So we had to do events like this at our schools. And that's how it really got started. And then you started seeing, the Jet Beauty of the Week and the Ebony Fashion Beauty. And then, they actually started letting Black women in, to the Miss America pageant and things like that. We were the ones who really started that and kicked that off. So to be a part of something like that, we haven't even talked about the legacy of the institutions, but being able to be a part of that campaign, win, and be voted for by your peers, like, was really special to me. And it was like Coming to America. I don't know if any of you guys seen the original, but the second one just came out today, so check that out too. But it was really like literally getting crowned Mr. Bowie State was like being crowned the Princess Zamunda. It was like that. It was like a whole big party. It was people coming from all different schools, and it was like a party all week. It goes on during homecoming week. So,
Teachers
if you go
council
on YouTube,
classes.
if you go on YouTube and look up some of the coronations for like the Misters and Misses for each of these institutions, you'll kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So,
I want to answer this. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Benjamin.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, are there any like opportunities for international travel? Like,
Oh yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an abroad program. So majority of the schools have it. I know my school is very good at going to Spain every year. They canceled this year's trip just because of COVID. But for this trip, for example, it's a program where they'll teach you like the culture. So it's like I think they go to 3 countries every semester and stuff. But my school funds it, so you actually get paid to go travel to Spain. So let's say if you're selected to go, they'll pay for you to go. Like it's like a process where you get some type of like elective credit, and then on top of that, you get your teachers like let you slide. Like as long as you're turning in your some like assignments, they won't really trip about you not showing up to class. So that's like a really good opportunity because my friend, she went to Italy. She went to Italy last year, and she was talking about it. She was like, "Oh yeah, like if you get the opportunity to travel, it's a whole world out there, and I would highly recommend it."
Yeah. That was one of the biggest things for me too. My only regret during my college experience, I pretty much did it all, but not traveling abroad was like the one thing I wish I would have did. Like my business department, they actually traveled to Ethiopia. So you got to go to Ethiopia and study like economics over there for like a whole semester. You know what I'm saying? So on top of it just being studying abroad, but you know, as Black people being able to go to like the motherland, like I feel like, you know, was a priceless opportunity. I wish I would have took advantage of that. But I have friends at Morehouse that went and studied, like Roy has said, in Spain. I had my cousin actually went to Spelman, and she studied over in Asia, you know, for a whole semester. And some people stay longer than that. Like it's programs you can go where you can stay for like a whole year or a semester and a half, 2 semesters, 3 semesters. So it just all depends how much you want to take advantage. Your grades got to be good, so you want to make sure you're keeping those up because they don't take anybody.
Yeah,
but
what's the criteria for that type of thing? Is it something where like we fund it ourselves, or is it, or it could be a combination of both? But will we fund it ourselves, or is it like programs where they have donors or something that donate and then they select based on, I don't know if it's like based on your major, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the institution. So the school might actually have like a grant that they could give you that will fund the trip. You could pull out a loan through the financial aid department. It might be something that they'll let you know in advance that it might like in advance, and it's something that you just budget for, you know. So that's how that works. It just depends on the institution you go to. Another thing too is like I think people really take these opportunities like for granted. At least I did, like for a second, because like I grew up like in a city where everything pretty much looks the same. And I remember like I started traveling like outside of my city, like in the sense like not like 45 minutes away, and I would go to like to Pasadena, and I would look at these nice houses, and it just like it shows you like there's a whole world out there. So like it might sound like, oh, Spain or something, but it's like if you get the opportunity to do something different, why not take it and do it, you know? It's just great opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's like Roy said, it's different funding options. And I know like for a lot of them, most of them I think they don't even let you start traveling until like your sophomore year anyway. Like it's
Sophomore,
rare where
junior.
it's rare where you get to go do traveling abroad like your freshman year. So you got like even if you got to pay, a lot of times they tell you a year in advance. Like I think for the Ethiopia trip our students got to take, I think the only thing you had to pay for was like the plane ticket. Like I think they got it funded up to the point where you just had to pay for the plane ticket, but even that was like discounted. So I think it was like $500 round trip. You know what I'm saying, to go to Africa. You know what I'm saying. So to be able to come with that over a year or 2 years, you know, is something. You know whether you're doing a GoFundMe or you know you're working a part-time job, you know you should be able to take care of. But you know that was it. So like Roy said, like a lot of these schools got plenty of money, you know, for things like that, and it makes them look good. So they want students to go. So and they know college students is broke anyway. So you're not coming out paying all types of money. Like most of us was glad to have a dinner at Fridays. You know what I'm saying? Once a month. You know what I'm saying? So they know you're not, you know, you don't got bread like that, so it won't be nothing crazy.
I want to answer this question real quick. It says, what would you tell students? What would you tell a student who is shy and incoming freshman to get involved in? I would just say, be yourself. Like you're walking into a whole new campus with so many people. You're gonna meet people off the bat. So if you decide a dorm, you're gonna have a roommate. That's gonna be the first person you want to be friends with. You're gonna see like your interest is. What are you interested in? Just start asking around and just start joining those clubs and organizations, and you'll start growing from there. You know what I mean? Usually, like everybody, like people are more friendlier like than you would think. Honestly,
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Miss Benjamin, what's your son name? You over there asking what's his name? You on mute.
Trey.
Trey, you guys in Miami or are you in Atlanta?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Oh, okay. What part?
Like actual city of Atlanta.
Oh, you actually in Atlanta. Oh, okay. You on the field. You really in Atlanta. Okay, that's what's up. No, I got family out there. That's why I was asking. But Trey, what grade you in?
Senior year.
Oh, you a senior. Well, what question you got, man? You finna graduate. What question you got?
I mean, from what I heard, it was pretty straightforward. I don't have any questions.
Gotcha. What you think about majoring
in? Computer science.
Nice. So I don't know where'd you apply to so far?
I wanted to start off doing technical schools, so pretty much like every technical school in Atlanta I've applied for, and then some further out in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, say that again.
Yeah, that's why like we would come to this to just like explore some other options, you know.
Yeah. No, it's
Right.
a good thing, and I think one of the main things like people don't, like I said, I don't know if you guys were in here for the networking portion that me and Roy were talking about, but a lot of these institutions, like the great thing about the HBCUs, a lot of the bigger companies are going to HBCUs to find and hit their multicultural or their minority, quota, because they feel like the bigger, like these institutions are serving like the best and the brightest of Black folks. So like, for instance, Howard University, they just opened up a whole like Google section of their campus, like it's sponsored by Google, and they basically funneling kids in who go through like the IT programs or computer technology programs like yourself, and then they sending them to Silicon Valley for the summer, and then you get a chance to make those connections, and then hopefully get picked up by one of those companies afterwards. But the biggest thing is just getting it in. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I definitely would look into, because your biggest thing, you want your 4 years to really set you up for after, like you on the clock as soon as you go. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you go, you're on the clock for what you're gonna be doing afterwards. So when you go to one of these schools, like you're gonna have everybody, including your teachers and your staff and your peers, that are gonna be setting you up with opportunities to get where you need to go. And I always say it's more of a tailor-made learning system, because I went to UCLA too, which is a predominantly white institution, and I went to Bowie State University. And the biggest difference is a lot of those resources that you kind of got to search out are more so brought to you, and they made more accessible to you at HBCUs. And really just because of the numbers, like a lot of the bigger schools, you may be in class with like 200 people, whereas with the HBCUs, it might be a max of 50 or 60 students. So you get one-on-one relationships with your teachers, you get one-on-one relationships with your peers, and you get one-on-one relationships with the heads or the deans of each departments, which is almost impossible to do at like big schools, because it's just way too many people. So just something for you to think about, and just keep in the back of your mind. And then also when you're talking to some of these schools, ask them, about their computer programs and where they're sending kids off to, because there's a lot of us getting picked up, especially now with them trying to up their minority picks.
Senior.
Trey, you said you were a senior or a junior? I'm sorry.
Like, what are you asking?
Junior? Senior? Have you applied to any of the schools
no, I haven't.
so far? At the Expo. So if you have a copy of your transcripts, you could go over to the I think it's session, or I don't know what tab it is on the side, but there's actually schools that are accepting on the spot, giving scholarships on the spot, and it's always good to check them out, just because it's always good to have those options in your pocket,
And like
just in case. You know what I mean? It's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them, if that makes any sense.
Right.
I would just recommend. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, bro, it's gonna be like if you're like on a TV show and somebody's just giving you free money. Like if you have a good
absolutely.
GPA,
And
like
it's like
these schools
I
will
said too, like
hook you up.
I went to Bowie
So I
State
would
University,
just
and I didn't even know about that
look
school
into
until a
it.
couple months before I graduated. You know what I'm saying? So like you got a great mom who gone with you, so be thankful for that, man, because it's a lot of people who don't have that, and they end up regretting it. So just take advantage of it, man. And yeah, like our Roy said, just get as many options as you can. There's nothing wrong with having extra money. You know what I'm saying? So take advantage of all of that. And I think the last question, Roy, was I don't know if she was saying, can freshmen in high school get accepted? I don't know. You got elaborate on that, Cure. You mean can freshmen in high school get accepted today?
What you could,
and then also with the SAT, ACT question.
how about a freshman in high school? So I think right now it's you could subscribe to the school, so they'll send you information as the years come by. I don't think they accept you as a freshman just because they need to see how how you progress throughout your high school career. Also, any tips with the SAT and ACT? If I'm being honest with you, I'm not really sure because I know in California they canceled them for a little bit, or I don't know what the case
Yeah.
state. But I would just say if you still need to take both tests, take them. I took the ACT and I did actually pretty good. I got like almost a 1300, which was like decent. But just find out what like just take the test, see when the tests are, see if your school gives you any test waivers so you don't have to pay out of pocket for the test. And just see when testing is and where it might be located. But I would talk to your college your counselor at school. So usually, if your GPA is higher, your ACT or SAT doesn't need to be that high. If your GPA is lower and your SAT or ACT is higher, it just reflects good. It's just one of those like what would you call the test? Like
Practice it? Or you talking about those?
yeah.
I don't know what you would call them. I just know it's a practice test.
Yeah, so you could take practice tests. You could just Google like SAT, ACT practice test. I thought there was like an organization for that. But for sure. So I'll see you guys later because I have to go to my next session. Trey, I hope you find you hope you get a lot of scholarships today. Amir, it's always a pleasure having you around. And
Always.
thank you everybody for coming. But I'm gonna have to let you guys go early.
All right, Roy, we'll talk to you.
All right, sounds good.
All right. And then my last piece for the SAT ACT is they actually have a session going on right now. I think for the SAT ACT, or it's gonna start at like 3:30, something like that. So you can go in there and check on that. And then I'll also leave my information in the box. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And yeah, all I can say is to the last part is Martin Luther King always said the best way to pick an institution is picking a spot that can build up your character and your intellect. So you want to make sure you're picking a school that's going to really take advantage of both of those opportunities. You know, if you're just getting schooling, not the best pick. If you're just getting all of the extracurriculars, not the best pick. But if you can get a mix of both that can really build you up into the man or woman you need to be, that's the right school for you. So thank you for coming. Like I said, I'll put my information in the box right now. Miss Benjamin, thank you. Trey, good luck with everything. Like I said, reach out if you got any questions. And, enjoy the rest of your senior year, my man. That should be a fun one. And, yeah, like I said, just reach out if you got any questions. And anybody else in the chat box, too. If you got any questions, just holler at me.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
I don't know how to get to the chat box. How do you get to
Oh, it should be on the right-hand side. I'm about to put my stuff in there right now. So
little arrow thing?
Y'all don't log off quite yet. Well, I mean, don't log off if you need to reach out to me. If you don't need to talk to me, then, you ain't got to say nothing or stay. But here we go. Boom. So that's my phone number, and then I'll put my email in there too. Y'all be safe in Atlanta this weekend, man. I know y'all got All-Star Weekend coming up. Y'all don't go to the club, Trey. Yeah, don't. Let me catch you out there, man. Let's see. All right, you guys. That's my email and my phone number. So you guys take care, and I'll talk to you soon.